What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. As you see in the background, I got a bucket with a lid on it. That can only mean one thing. That's something new, not just this red hat. You know, this red hat, check that out. It's like the bill on his hat is a duck bill, which I think is kind of rad because this is a legitimate New Era 5950. I dig it. Alright, so there's going to be two bigger changes with my fish tanks. We're going to be taking out this divider over here and putting Douglas over here where the red Texas and the Texas are. And we're going to put the red Texas and the Texas over here without the divider. And we're also going to be adding the new fish. The reason I'm doing this is I don't like the divider anyways, and Lewis here needs more room. And for some reason, the side of the tank just gets filthy super fast. Like less than a week ago, I cleaned this and it was all sparkly. There was none of that black hair algae, which only happens on this side of the aquarium. And I can't be having that because it looks gross. And Douglas is a great looking fish other than his head scar, which if you have been around for a little while, you would know he has a head scar. But to my understanding, a lot of people didn't even really realize that there was a scar there. Right now, before we get going on what we're going to do and how we're going to add these new fish to their new aquariums, I'm going to tell you how to do that and what I believe, in my opinion, is the safest way possible. Let me know in the comments if you knew Douglas's head was scarred and not just bulbous. So the major issue, other than how gross this side of the aquarium gets here for Douglas needs more room. He's gonna get a lot bigger. He'll be fine in the bow front, and the Texases can live in a community with these guys. Lewis he's all right. He might bug the female a little bit, but not too bad. And the kamfa female here, she's all right too. But there is one thing that makes this mildly difficult. I have to take Douglas, the SRD flowerhorn, and get him out so I can take the divider out, and then add these guys. But Douglas is going in here. So I'm gonna have to probably catch the male Texas, put him in the community side, catch Douglas, put him on this side, catch the female, put her in there because the divider will be out at that point. I don't know yet. I am going to be taking out a lot of these rocks and stuff, or at least just pushing it all back so like only the clown loaches can hide in there, and maybe this little guy down here because it's a little bit smaller than everybody. But we're going to go with an open style aquarium, so there's no real territories for anybody to claim. So let's catch that male Texas and get him in there with, well, I don't know yet. Let's see how it's gonna go. Let's catch the male Texas. Now I realized that I let my aunt use my Hygger extendable 6-in-1 tool, which you guys should check out this video right here because that's an awesome thing and everybody needs one. I'll leave a link down below if you want to grab one for yourself. Very useful, but I don't have mine. But I do have the tool I need right here. I need to clean this out. Don't mind that. So I'm going to take this here corner scrubber and I'm just going to use it to clean glass. Now let's check out what we got for new fish over here in the bucket. I'll admit it, I probably should have waited till water change day because I knew I was going to move all this stuff around because now the water's foggy and gross and water change day was just a couple of days ago. So don't mind that it's a little bit foggy and gross. I can do a water change in like 2 days. I could probably do one now, but I'm not going to. Now one of the important things that I did is I already added the Texas, and now I'm not going to be waiting long at all. They've only been in there maybe 2 minutes, probably closer to 5. And now I'm going to be adding these guys here, which came from my buddy Dylan again. So right here we have a carpintis, and a male and a female starry night cichlids. And his water's always good. I would almost drink it. So we're just gonna pick these guys up and put them right in here. Water's about the same anyways. Beautiful male. They're very light right now, just because they're stressed from moving, but these guys are basically black. This carpintis, I wasn't necessarily planning on getting the carpintis. The plan was to go and get the 2 starry nights, but then he asked me if I wanted the carpintis, and I do. The reason I wanted the carpintis is because now I get to show you guys the difference between a Texas cichlid, a red Texas cichlid, and a carpintis, because a lot of people think they're all the same. Well, maybe not so much on the red Texas, but the Texas and carpintis, a lot of people think they're the same fish, and they're not, and it's kind of obvious the differences. Now let's get that divider out for Duggo over here. And while we're getting Douglas's tank ready, I'd like to point out that just under 20% of the people that watch my videos are subscribers. So if you've liked my videos, or if this is your second video or third video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's destiny. And we're gonna do a giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. Alright, so now let's go over the things that we did to add these fish to the aquarium. The number one thing I did is I added more than 1 or 2 fish at a time. I actually added 5 fish to this group, and the more fish you add, the less likely one is to get beat up by another fish. And that's kind of the reason why you overstock an aggressive cichlid tank, whether it be Africans or South or Central American cichlids. If you overstock it, it just makes it so there's more fish in there, so one fish just doesn't get the brute of the dominant fish. The other thing I did is I changed the decor around, and I'm going to be doing more stuff to this. I'm going to be changing the decor again. The idea is to get rid of all territories and to make obstacles, so fish don't always see each other constantly, especially if they don't like each other. And one thing you might have noticed is I do have the kamfa in a critter carrier inside of the aquarium right now, and that's because the kamfa wants to fight the red Texas, and you can't have that. So my theory is you put the fish into a critter carrier, or if it's a smaller fish, one of the hang on the side baby nets, and that kind of just, it hurts their pride a little bit, and if you leave them there long enough, they'll just become less dominant and be less likely to fight with other fish. You're gonna have little fights when you add the fish at first because they need to establish the hierarchy. The only fish that really don't participate in the hierarchy here are the frontozas, the clown loaches, and the pleco. Everybody else has their spot. Lewis is obviously the tank boss, but that's just based on size because he can't close his mouth all the way. And then after that, I would say it's the red Texas or the kamfa at the moment, but we're gonna make it so it's the red Texas, then the kamfa. It can take a little while. It might take longer than you want, but for the most part, this will work. The one thing I can't stress the most is when you add aggressive cichlids to an aggressive cichlid community tank, you don't want to just put them in there and then leave. You're going to want to sit there for like hours and watch them. I personally spent like 3 hours sitting in front of this tank right after I got done recording, putting them in there. And you just want to watch and you see if there's going to be a problem fish, you'll probably find out. And plus, you don't want one fish just getting pissed off in the beginning and killing another fish. To be honest with you, I'm very fortunate that this worked out as well as it did, because there are going to be times when you're adding fish to an aggressive community tank and it's not going to work out, and you're either going to have to rehome that fish or possibly bring it back to the store you got it from, or find a new home for it. So always have a backup plan when you're going to get new fish for your aggressive community tank. That's huge, very huge. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you learned anything or you just like my new tank setup, please hit that thumbs up button. It'll help out a lot. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, peace.